Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me here. This topic is about, can one live without money? Is it possible to live completely without money? This is a very, very long topic that I really want to talk about because I think it's so important to get people to understand, can we really live without money? So, if we are still living in a city and we're not self sufficient and we still get our food from the supermarket or local farmers market, or we have to pay for internet, or we have to pay for electricity or water from the city services, which is provided by the government, then simple answer is no. We still need money to pay for all these things. But what about indigenous people that live out in wilderness? Do they use money? Many of them, or virtually all of them, don't. They basically live their lives in nature and they either forage and or they grow their own food. So I think nowadays more of them are growing their own food because it's harder to forage. As now the earth is so polluted and there's less public lands, free land to go and forage in. And so it's harder and harder for even indigenous people or native people to survive and thrive. But if we have some sort of land and some sort of dwelling, house, or something to keep us covered when it rains, and when we want to sleep, and when we want to make love, and when we want to make our food and all that stuff, or more like prepare our food, can we be self-sufficient? Can we live without money? And the answer is we can live without most money, maybe all money, depending on how minimal you want to live. If you want to live without internet, if you want to live without, any amenities like going to the cinema or going to a restaurant or whatever extra that we need for money. So, for example, if somebody is self sufficient, they have their own food, electricity, and water, then what money do they really need? Maybe very, very minimal if they want to travel once in a while, or maybe, I don't know, maybe to get internet if they can't get free internet somehow. So there is a possibility to use very little money because you can grow your food all year round in a warm climate, like a tropical climate like Costa Rica or Belize or Mexico or Panama or Colombia or anywhere tropical. Australia, Northern Australia, you can get very warm weather. And if you're growing all your own food, which possibly, if you're raw vegan, that possibly could take a little while because fruit trees do take a long time to grow. Some fruit trees, that is. And so, yeah, it does take time to grow food. So before someone is fully self-sustainable, they would need money to transition away from society. Now, if that person still wants to be part of society for whatever reason, it could still be possible to be self-sufficient, even in a city. But it would have to be most likely in a place where you can grow all your own food. Otherwise, you'll still have to buy food. So, in short, it really depends on, in short, it really depends on how self-sustainable are you and how minimal are you? So if you're really a minimalist to like, I mean, there's different degrees of minimalism. So minimalism basically means that we don't buy anything that we absolutely don't need, and we live with very little. We live with whatever means that we can, and we try to be self-sufficient as much as we can. So if we're fully self-sufficient, then we basically don't need money. Now, my idea for the near future, within the next 10 years or so, is to be fully self-sustainable while still having some access to internet in some form, way, or shape. If that means I have to pay for internet, or if that means um, I will get internet somehow, cheaply or freely, I still have to do that. And of course, in the meantime, while striving to grow all my own food and eventually transitioning to become fully sustainable, that will take time. So in the beginning, I'll need enough money, even as a minimalist, and eventually decreasing the dependence on outside authority to supply water, food, and electricity, and eventually supplying all that stuff myself, through whatever means. So you can be fully self-sustainable and you can live without money, but that takes time to do so. And the time is to start is right now, not tomorrow or next day or whatever, but the time to start is right now, because you never know when things close permanently, because governments can close anything, any store, any supermarket, any local farmers market. They can, stop providing you with city water or with electricity or with anything. Then what are we going to do? And people don't realize that is so urgent that people understand these issues. People don't understand how evil, generally, how evil governments are. Even though they may do some good for humanity, most of what they do is evil. The evil laws, a lot of them unjust, and they go against our human birthrights. And so the whole idea is to be as self-sustainable as you possibly can, by first growing our own food. That's the number one thing, is to grow our own food is the main thing. If we need a little bit of electricity for powering up our computers or our phones, then we can, somehow generate that. However, we do. Then we can less and less, not need as much money. Because if we're not buying things that we don't absolutely need, because all we need in this earth really is one thing: food. Food and a place to live. Those are the only two things we really need: food and a place to live. So if we have our own house and we're generating all our own electricity and water and food, then what are we paying for, basically? If we don't need anything else but food, maybe some water and electricity, and we're generating all that, then what do we need to pay for? The only thing I would see is internet. If you don't own a car and you use a bicycle everywhere, then the only thing you would probably need is internet, to pay for internet. That's it. If you don't use TV cable, which nobody should, because all propaganda anyways, and a lot of lies and things like that. Just internet, for example. And even that, if you don't use internet, or you get it somehow, you get it for free, hey, you don't have any expenses, basically. You don't need any money. Absolutely no money. Now, some people are not in this situation. They don't have a permanent place they're living at. They don't have consistent food for themselves. And that's why they either need money or they need support or help from someone to provide that to them. So I would really highly suggest everybody that please help all those in need that are doing good work. So vegan advocates, animal rights activists that are sharing the message of veganism to others. If you have the means, please support animal rights activists, vegan advocates in a time of need, because they're doing the work that we all need to do, actually. We all need to share veganism with people, as many people as we possibly can. And if we can, please help support them. And I'm very thankful to many people who have donated and have supported me in the past and continue supporting me, like Evolution Diet, Pet Food. Lynn and Eric Wiseman are beautiful people. If you have companion animals and you need to buy food, please support their work. They're a very small company. They're very amazing people. They've been doing this since 1989. I know Eric Wiseman has for sure. So check them out at petfoodshop.com. That's petfoodshop.com. All the links, everything will be down below. Please support them, because when you support them, you support me. When you buy my books and you post Amazon reviews of each of my books, you support my work. When you watch these videos, most of them anyways, you support my work. When you donate or sponsor my work, you support me in every way. And I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to like this video, share it around with all your friends and family, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And click that little bell icon if you want to receive notifications in your email. And don't forget to subscribe to my email newsletter. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon in the next video.